I feel like this is just one of those episodes that you just kind of jump into because you don't really know where to start. And I don't really know how to start this conversation because I didn't think I was ever going to have this conversation. I knew I would tell everybody, and I did tell everybody on TikTok already that I got a boob job, but I didn't know that I was actually going to make an episode about it. Before I dive into getting a boob job and really body image is what I wanted to talk about today, I just really quick want to do my usual like updates and favorites because I feel like it's not a normal episode if I don't do that. And this is not like a sad episode. It's just like an episode about what went on when I got a boob job. Why did I get one? What are the details? What did I wish I would have known? What am I afraid of? Do I like them now? Etc. I'm going to go through everything. I'm not going to hold back. I have never been one to hide anything. I've never been one to keep a secret. So as somebody who shares everything of their life that I feel appropriate, this is one of those things. And I want it to help somebody, and hopefully it will help somebody. Maybe it will make you not want to get one. And maybe it will make you want to get one. And I'm kind of hoping it won't based on the conversation we're going to have, but I'm going to share everything. So first, little updates. Honestly, this week has been crazy. I work for a company and I had to do a lot of presentations this week. Oh my gosh, it was a hectic one. Like I literally could not sit down. I felt like it's weird though. I really work well under pressure. So I always procrastinate until the last minute. I'm not going to lie. Like I had a presentation on Friday and I was doing the deck until 11:30 the night before and I had to be there at 7 or 6:45 for a workout. So I was a little tired. I'm not going to lie. I was really tired, but I went to it. I did it and I did amazing. Apparel is done. I'm not going to lie. Hoodies are done. Hats are not, which I'm like, they'll be done soon enough. So we're going to start launching some stuff. And I decided I'm going to do 12 days of giveaways because I don't know. I think it's so important to give back during the holiday season. So I'm really jazzed about that. And I'm sitting here like kind of tisking myself because I haven't talked about my January challenge as much as I should have yet, but I'm still doing it. And it has a lot to do with like being a better person and getting into routine and having a community and all of those things, whether you're in Minnesota or you're in Canada or you're in Chicago or wherever you're listening from, you can take part in it as long as you have access to internet. So if you can, you should check that out. There's a link in my bio to like learn everything you need to know about it. And I'm also going to make a ton of content about it coming up. So many fun things coming up. Jordan and I had literally the perfect date night. And I'm not going to lie. I don't know if anybody can relate to this, but when you're in a relationship with somebody and you both get busy, right? Like life has been busy for us. It is hard to prioritize that time together when you are just burnt out. Like you have nothing left by the end of the day, nothing. We finally he took initiative, which is like the most attractive thing ever, made a date for us like at a restaurant. It was called Martina. If you're in Minnesota, you know what that is. And he's like, we're going out to dinner at 8 p.m. tomorrow. Be ready, whatever. And we went, he drove. It was just, I think that's so attractive when a guy's like, yeah, well, this is where we're going to dinner. This is what we're doing. This is the plan, whatever. And we went to dinner. We sat up at the bar. I did have wine. I know that I'm doing dry January and everything, and I don't really drink, but this was kind of like a special occasion because we haven't connected like that on a date night in like what feels like 5 ever. And we just talked and like enjoyed each other's company, enjoyed good food. And it was like everything that I needed to feel. I always feel secure in my relationship, but to feel even more secure and like, wow, yep, I remember why I love this person to death every single day. And it kind of resets you in a way to make that time and to have that time together to just talk. And we went through family trees again because we both have crazy families in some ways and extended. And we're like, no, this is this person. They have these kids. This is what their story is. And it was just like, when you get the chance to connect with your person again, God dang, that feels so good. And it is so important to prioritize a date night, even if it's free, even if you're doing it from your house, that intentional time. It doesn't matter where you are. It matters who you're with. So plan that time. This is me like PSAing you to plan that time with your person because it felt so stinking good. Favorite products right now, I'm doing like a few new swaps right now. And I think the most recent one I did was Molly Suds in the laundry room. And I'm obsessed. We are doing this whitener like powder, and it's a clean product. It's doesn't have any parabens, fragrances. It has essential oils in it, which is why it smells like lavender. But that has been my favorite swap. We're also trying Molly Suds in our dishwasher, and people were like, oh my God, it won't clean your dishes as well. It's going to be terrible, whatever. Nope. My dishes are clean. Everyone's good. Like my dishwasher is working fine. All the dishes are coming out clean. So I don't know. It is so satisfying when you make a few switches as you run out of things. Like I have been making switches for probably 2 years, maybe even more, as we've ran out. Like when I run out of the Tide laundry detergent, I think I said this was Taylor, I switched it for a non-toxic brand. And if you don't know where to look for a non-toxic brand or what to even look for on the label, use Bobby approved, use AI. Literally, AI will tell you if it's something you should avoid and why you're avoiding it as you as a person. Like literally Claude, ChatGPT can do it, Perplexity can do it. Those are AI platforms that I use every single day. Ask any of them. They will tell you what to avoid. And you don't even have to worry about reading the label because it will tell you. It's easy. So those switches have been the best. I'm still on the normal toothpaste. I'm not avoiding fluoride. I'm still doing all those things, but those are my favorite products lately that are like, they help with my life. They help me like be a better, healthier version of me. And I will say there's changes that I felt like just from like ridding yourself from so much toxic like things in your home, but they're not like abrupt. It's like almost you forget how good you can feel because when you feel good, you're not thinking about like how good you feel. Because it's usually when you feel bad, you're thinking about how bad you feel. When you feel good, you're like, dang, I feel good, but I'm just like doing my life. You know what I'm saying? So I've had more room to do my life, less headaches, less hormonal response, better skin, et cetera, et cetera. I'm not selling this for you, by the way. You make your own decisions on your lifestyle. It's just helped me. And I'm always here to give those nuggets of information so you can help yourself too. With that being said, ooh, what an episode. This is about body image and boob jobs. And I didn't want this episode to be condoning plastic surgery because it's absolutely not. It is not condoning plastic surgery. In fact, I don't think anybody should get plastic surgery, really. I mean, unless you need it, like, and you feel like this is truly like what you want to do for yourself, which is where I think I was finally. But I don't want it to be condoning plastic surgery or anybody wishing they had that or wishing they could do that because honestly, it was not like a walk in the park. If I knew what I know now, having a breast augmentation, and it could go back in time, knowing what I know now in my head, I wouldn't do it because I don't need it. And I'm going to talk about all of this and I'll explain everything in a second, but setting the tone, I got a boob job about 3 months ago. I always said I would talk about it because I always am honest about it. Everything on this platform. I would never not be honest. I would never lie and say, no, I didn't do that or not tell you what's going on. I literally tell you when I like go to the bathroom, when I change the milk in my fridge, like I'm going to tell you, you know what I'm saying? And I have thought about this for many years. In fact, probably about 23 years because my mother had a boob job and I didn't know that, but I was always like, oh my gosh, when are my boobs going to grow? Even as little as like being little and dressing up like her and putting on her bras and all these things, you know what I'm saying? Like as a little girl, I wanted to have that piece because I wanted to feel feminine and, I wanted to feel like a woman and I wanted to feel curvier. And I'm like, when I didn't know in my subconscious, I was I didn't know I was attaching like femininity with my mom and, like, cause it's your mom, she's your feminine figure. And that is how I made the connection of like, oh, if I have boobs, like I will feel feminine. I'm going to feel like this la-di-da-di-do woman. And as I grew older, that never changed. And I just played more sports. I played hockey and lacrosse. They're intense sports. And they were always like, people would always say those sports are considered air quotes. I'm air quoting because I don't think this manly. No, they're just like, I was inherently more tomboy because that was who I was hanging out with. That's how we were in the sports. Like it was cool to be tomboy and play hockey and play lacrosse, whatever. I thought if I had boobs, I would feel like womanly. I would feel like a woman. Like I wouldn't feel like the tomboy that I was as I grew up. I would feel like a woman. So before I talk about getting the boob job and before I tell you all the details, I just want to talk to you about body image, because really this is a story about somebody who wasn't happy with how they looked and was insecure in their body and had body image issues. And that's just really what it is. And I think we all can take and learn something from this because it's about self-confidence. So obviously I'm saying my biggest insecurity was having small boobs. And I had thought about it since I was little, like since I can remember. And honestly, I think I would for a while there fluctuate in weight a little bit, like get a little bit bulkier or like go the other way, which is never good, just to see if I would grow boobs or if they would stay, like would my boobs stay? And they wouldn't. Obviously, that was the outcome of that. I mean, once you have your boobs, you have your boobs, and they don't change a whole lot until like you have a baby or some drastic body changes, which is just how it works. But mine were not growing no matter what. You could probably, what is the like weird things that people eat, like beeswax and like something else to like see if they grow, and like no, mine were not growing. Anyway, I absolutely did not want to do this for anyone else but myself. And I knew that my fiance never cared or commented about my body. Like this was not something that had to do with him. This is not something that had to do with anybody on the outside. I thought if I got these, I would basically never have an issue or insecurity again. And that is where I was very, very wrong. Just because you get a plastic surgery or you get a boob job and you like have these new things going on doesn't mean your insecurities and body image are solved. They go away. You feel fine. You're a full, well-rounded person with no issues. That's just not how it works. I genuinely thought, and this is pre like surgery, I didn't know anything yet, right? I thought I would wake up and I'm like, holy crap. I feel like those Instagram girls that I see on the internet or the girls on TikTok that are like strutting their stuff in their bikini and like, oh my God, I'm going to feel like that. I'm literally just going to like feel like I plopped into a new body and I'm totally different. And that's just like the farthest thing from the truth. You don't feel like crazy different. In fact, you feel worse for a very long time. I also like will say, we have to look in the mirror and learn to love ourselves. Like I kind of bunk myself on the head thinking that I went this long, just like hating on myself. Like I'm really not that different. And I realized it was self-confidence like that I was struggling with. Like I had self-confidence issues, and self-confidence issues is kind of like a disease. It will just find another problem to like harp onto and latch onto. And what I realized was it was not the solver, and it didn't solve my problems, right? So they're uncomfortable, and I'm not gonna lie, running is weird, and I have zinging pain and numbness and tingling and all of these things. Like I'm readjusting to my clothes a little bit and how they fit and how they look. I had to be okay with people at work, like in like work settings and different settings like that, like looking and like knowing like something changed, if you know what I'm saying, and they're like, what is this called? Finger guns to me. And I'm like, finger guns to them. And I'm like, hey, you know what's going on? Oh God, this is awkward. Okay. You're like my dad at work. You're like, what? I feel awkward now, So there was just some really weird things that I didn't know going into it. And like, what I want to come back to is, if you're struggling with your body image, I want you to look yourself in the mirror and tell yourself you're beautiful. And then I want you to do that again at night. And then I want you to do it every single day moving forward, because body changes are not the answer to self-confidence. The problem is I was not secure in who I was and who I am. And I was looking to change myself to add value to myself. And that is just not how it works. When you look at somebody, ask yourself this. When you look out at somebody in the world and you meet a new girl, you meet a new friend or whatever, you're with your friends, are you like, whoa, small boobs, whoa, small boobs? No, you're not ever thinking about that. I'm thinking about the value they bring to the conversation and why I surround myself with really cool ass people, and like why it is so important to surround yourself with the best circle of people, because they lift you up, they make you better. And oh my God, she looks so good in that. Oh my gosh, she's so pretty. Like admiring, not comparing. I'm admiring. So why should it be any different with anybody else? And why the hell am I assuming that everyone is noticing this quality about me that literally nobody noticed? No one. No one noticed my small boobs. All freaking good. No one was looking at them. And even if they were, I wouldn't give a shit, right? Now, knowing what I know now, I shouldn't have give a shit. But self-confidence needs to be worked on. It's not something that will just come and heal itself. Here's what I always reference. Whitney Simmons, amazing, amazing, amazing human being. She is a fitness influencer. If you don't know her, she's like, I'm obsessed with her. I'm like, all hail Whitney Simmons. She has psoriasis. I have psoriasis. I'm like, we're connected, girl, you and me. And she has admitted that she tried to commit, you know what, in like the time that she's been this mega influencer with millions of followers. And I'm not joking, like she's hot, like she's got muscle, she's like curvy, she's beautiful. And she said it was because of all the insecurity and like, well, attention was part of it, but like she was insecure with herself. She was not happy. Like being attractive doesn't solve anything. Being more attractive doesn't solve anything. Changing your body doesn't solve anything. Even when you are the most fit you can ever be, you have to have self-worth and self-confidence that you've worked on, because your mind will just find something else to attach itself to. It could be your hair next. It could be your I remember arm hair being a thing for a really long time. My nose. I mean, like what insert thing that you don't, maybe just a hair don't like about yourself. And now all of a sudden you are spending days, hours, weeks, years, just wasting time away thinking about how you could make yourself better. And meanwhile, time is passing. Your parents are growing older. Your family is, like expanding, hopefully. You are going through life changes and you are wasting time not celebrating small wins and victories and big wins and victories in your life, worrying about how you look in one singular part of your body. I mean, like, think about that in the grand scheme of life. That is bonkers. Like, that is literally like, what the hell was I doing? I think about my grandma. If she was alive right now, she would be so pissed at me for getting a boob job. Oh my God. She'd be so mad at me. And I'm sure she sent me a sign or a little piece of karma. I'm sure, like when I like stubbed my toe the other day, I bet that was her. But like, I just look at her and all of her life and what she valued and what she told me and talked to me about when she was passing. And she's like, it doesn't fucking matter. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, carry yourself well. Like, live your life, like just enjoy and live and be around good people and love on yourself so much, because I didn't do enough of it. And I regret that. Like, oh my God, chills, right? Chills running down your spine. So I just want everybody, and whether you are struggling with this or not, like, and I think we all kind of struggle with it when we see somebody on Instagram that we don't look like. It could be self-conscious, I think even too, but let's try not to assume that they have the best life and that they're the happiest person on the planet and they're feeling so good about themselves, because I God forbid they aren't. And I really hope that they are. Like, we're not them. We're uniquely ourselves. We should be thinking about how can we make ourselves better in the non-physical realm, in the non-physical world? How can I get smarter, spend more time on something, be better at X? Like, people at work are succeeding and moving up the ladder because they're focusing on making themselves better at a skill, like social, like branding, strategy, operations. Like, I mean, just think about that. And meanwhile, you're spending your nights scrolling TikTok like me. I'm talking to me right now, by the way, like looking at, should I get a boob job? Should I not get a boob job? Should I get a boob job? Should I not? I was like distracted in my entire existence. I was like not able to function over a stress I had created on myself and brought to myself that I didn't even have to do. And wishing I was someone else and wishing that I looked differently and felt differently. It bums me out to look back on. It bums me out that me and other women out there have compared themselves for so long that we had to change something about our body and put something in it. And that upsets me. And I'm sitting here even with them, and that kind of pisses me off. I'm not even going to lie. I'm like, what the hell was I doing? So that's all what I know knowing now. And I want to talk to you about like this weird imposter syndrome that I like battled really, really bad when I was trying to figure out what I was going to do. Because this was not an easy decision for me. I said, oh my God, I'm going to do this. And right when I found out that I actually could, like I saved for it and I was ready to go, and I started looking at surgeons, I felt this immense anxiety, like that stayed with me for years while I made the decision and like processed all of the things. But this other anxiety that I had because it was like this control thing. The other one was like, can I be a woman promoting good things and healthy living and fitness and wellness and natural living and get work done? Like, is that allowed? Is there a rule for it? Is that embarrassing of me to change my body and not be this holistic person that I've put out there? Or am I like overthinking it? Like for example, I think of Gracie Norton. She has a boob job. She's admitted that. She is the health nut of the world, like a naturalist completely. I don't think any less of her for having a boob job. In fact, I couldn't give two shits, to be honest. And I'm sitting here wasting time thinking about, am I sending the wrong message to women out there? I was worried about you guys. I'm not even going to lie to you. I was worried about the people listening being like, you're a fake, you're a phony, you're an imposter. Or like, I never wanted to have an influencer who like promoted these types of things. Influencer is a big word. I don't think I'm an influencer, but you know what I'm saying? Somebody with influencer platform, like promoting that, like promoting changing your body. Like I thought about like, okay, well then what about Botox and filler, which I have both. I have Botox in my forehead. Haven't had it for a long time, but I do. And filler in my lips. And like, is that bad of me? No, I'm not judging myself anymore. I have to remove the judgment from myself. And then I thought about like a knee implant or hip implant. And then I'm like, wait a minute. People have implants all the time. Those are not selective, but you get what I'm saying? So this swirl kept happening. Like it just kept happening over and over again. But like, here's the thing. This is my body. This is my life. This is my decision. Like the mental struggle of not working out for 2-ish months was really hard, but that was just like, that's very temporary. These can be temporary if I want, but I was making a pretty big decision for my body, all by myself. And I don't like making decisions by myself. If you ask anybody, I'm pretty freaking indecisive. If you ask my fiance, my family, my friends, they'd be like, yeah, you're a little indecisive. And I was, and like traumatizingly indecisive. But what I wish I would have known is that I had to make this decision for myself the entirety of the time. No matter how many times I asked somebody, no matter how many videos I looked up on TikTok about breast augmentation or breast illness or like what's people's experience, this had to be my decision. This had to be for me. And no one was going to give me the answer that I wanted to hear because it didn't exist. It had to be coming from my decision. I talked to my family a lot actually too, and my mom and my aunts, and they were all sad that I was even questioning like, can I be a well-rounded human being and have a boob job? And because they were like, they didn't view me any differently. And those guys, a few of my family members, they've had boob jobs. Like they're in that world and they're like, no, you need to make this decision for yourself though. You're not less than, you're not less natural. You're not, like this change of a person because you made one decision that is different than the norm. But she's like, I remember my mom said, who's making these rules? And I was like, I have no idea. I think I made them up in my head. I have no clue who made these rules. Like that's so bizarre that I was so deep in these. I think, oh my gosh, I want to know like what people think about me situation. It was icky. So I don't wish that on anybody. I don't wish the mental battle that I was having on anyone at all. You guys, the most important thing with this is that you have to nurture your relationship with yourself no matter where you are in your life, because that is your constant. That is your security. Whether you're in a relationship or not, you need to be nurturing your relationship with yourself more than any other relationship out there. And I truly, truly believe that. And I know that there's times with kids, like you don't have the capacity to do that, but you have to be at least making the effort to do that. Like at the bare minimum. Like I was just selfish though. Like I was selfishly thinking and wasting my time overthinking. Oh my God, how could I look better? How could I be different? How could if I just do X, Y, Z, I'm going to be so amazed with myself and my life's going to go perfect and I'm going to be perfect. Yay. Just practice understanding your value outside of looks, because that's what I really, really, really had to do post surgery, because I felt a little uncomfortable in my skin and a little confused in my head why my problems didn't go away. Why did I still like have something I wanted to change in my body? Why was I still swirling in those thoughts? So I just needed to spend time with myself, thinking and reflecting on what do I really value in other people and why don't I value that in my own person? You are so beautiful and so loved and so amazing, and like literally the way that you are supposed to be on this planet. So if you take one thing away from this episode, that is what I want you to take away, okay? Because it happened, because I have a boob job, because I am here talking about it, I'm going to tell you all the good, the bad, the ugly, and we're going to go into it right now. I'm going to tell you everything from how it, like what I did, what changed, what size, what was the experience like going into surgery? What was the pre? What was the post? What do I feel now? I'm going to talk to you about it all. Where to begin? I debated back and forth for a very long time. And I think I debated so long that it was like making me sick. I like couldn't even work. You guys, one day I couldn't work because I was debating. I'm like, should I do it? Should I not do it? So here's how it started, the whole process. Obviously, I told you way back when I was thinking about it. Well, 2-ish years ago, maybe it was now 3, I went in for just a consult because I had been thinking about it so long and I didn't have to put any money down. So I just researched boob jobs in the area. I had asked a few people about it, and I went in and I went into this office and I got an appointment. And I'm not going to lie, it's going to a doctor's office. Like you're in a doctor's office. And it was a little weird. I don't really know exactly how to put my finger on the weirdness, but the standoffishness of the people in this specific place made me completely uncomfortable. And I went to that appointment and I had the money to do it then. And I was like, I just don't feel right about doing it. I just don't. So I just literally dropped it for an entirety of a year. And then I kind of started resurfacing it for a little bit. And transparently, I went in to go actually get my deviated septum looked at and maybe was going to fix that. Cause at this time I was not feeling good about myself, and I was finding anything to nitpick in order to like make myself feel like I could change and feel better. I went into this other office and, to look at my nose job, or, to talk about a nose job and talk about a breast augmentation. And again, uncomfortable. I don't know how else to describe this, but like they were just standoffish and semi-rude. And I just felt like, I don't like this. I feel like a dummy. Like I was asking questions and the way that the doctor was responding was like I was a dumbass basically. And I just hated that. I felt like I don't feel comfortable here. If I can't get the answers to my questions that I have, I am not willing to go under the knife with you, weirdo. And you kind of asshole, like literally asshole behavior. So, I was like, all right, let's just table that for another like 9 months. So I tabled it again, and I was like, maybe I'm not going to do it. Who knows? Then flash forward, I get engaged. I'm probably about, I don't know. I'm trying to do the math here. Maybe like 6 months into engagement, and I'm thinking about it, and I'm like, wait a minute. If I'm going to get a boob job, I kind of want it done for my wedding. Even if I'm going to do it, I might as well just have it done for the wedding, because I want to look good. I want to feel confident. This is in my head, right? I'm thinking like, I'm going to feel like insanely different. Holy shit. Oh my God. My life's going to be insane. So I was like, okay, let me ask around. So I asked around like 30 people, and there was this one doctor that everybody recommended, and his name is Dr. Tholen, and he's Dr. Tholen, Minneapolis Plastic Surgery. This is not an ad. I swear to God, I'm just sharing so you have information too. I went in and had an appointment with him, and I actually ended up going in, I think 4 separate times to have him answer more questions. And he was patient and he was kind, and he knows it's a surgery and he's been under the knife. So I was very adamant about getting all my questions answered. Asking people, I started asking people who I knew had them done every single question I could think of. Like, do you feel sick? Do you think you have breast implant illness? What was the recovery like? What size did you get? Do you regret it? Do you wish you hadn't done it? What are the repercussions? I mean, I went total wackadoodle mode. Once I realized that I was actually getting serious about this, I said, all right, I'm going to deep dive into like learning about what is going to happen to my body when I do this thing. So I'm deep diving. I'm freaking on TikTok. I'm like typing breast augmentation into TikTok every single day. And then my algorithm started to switch to breast plant illness. And let me tell you, I had a surgery scheduled. I finally made the decision. I was like, I'm going to do this because I want to live my freaking life. I've wanted this for so long. I've only debated because I haven't felt comfortable. And I'm not putting myself into debt, et cetera, et cetera. So I'm just going to say F it, and I'm not going to overthink it. I'm going to put a surgery date down. Let's do this thing. I started looking at this breast implant illness shit. And I'm not even going to lie. I was so freaking scared. And as somebody who believes in holistic health, who like switched to Brands Basics, and my naturopath said, we don't like love the idea of having a boob job, especially if you have an autoimmune, which I have psoriasis. She was like, yeah, I don't really think that's a good idea. We don't like condone it, right? You can do whatever you want with your body, but obviously a foreign object in your body is something when the immunal response starts to flare, right? Because it's trying to get that out of your body. So then I'm reading all these things and I'm like, holy shit, there's so many women out there who have gotten their boobs like taken out and gotten sick and like ill. And like I had heard of someone passing away. I canceled my surgery. I straight up canceled it. I was like, no, I'm not doing this. I can't do it. I'm sick. I cannot do it. And at the time I didn't lose any money. I felt really, really good about it. And then I sat with it and I was like, wait, I'm living my life off of other people again, based on their stories. And everybody that I know personally, including my family, which are multiple people with it, have never had an issue in their life. Have never, and maybe that's a coincidence, maybe it's not, but I don't know anyone personally who has had issues with it. And I also realized that I had to be living for me. My entire life, I have lived in fear. My whole personality was built around anxiety, worry, fear, just everything I do out of fear, not out of confidence, not out of making a decision and moving forward with it. And I was like, I'm not doing this anymore. I'm not twiddling my thumbs and not doing my own research. And, I had done at this point, but I'm like, I'm going to do this for me. I've wanted to do this for me for a really long time. And I had a real ass conversation with myself where I looked myself in the mirror and I said, if something were to go wrong, let's just say, if I got breast implant illness, would I be willing to take them out? Absolutely yes. Is that best case? No. How badly do I want this? And at the time, it was pretty dang bad. I really did. I believed that changing my body would change and solve all my problems. So I said, okay, I'm doing it. I literally talked to some of my holistic friends here in Minneapolis, and they were like, I have never had an issue. I am more holistic than you, which they are. They weren't being, it's not a competition, but I'm just saying. And they had some of them like Hashimoto's and different things that are autoimmune, and they have no issue. And they've had them quite longer than me. And they just said, you just have to be willing to listen to your body and make sure that you know and note your symptoms prior to going under and getting a breast plant or do any change in your body, and have that promise to yourself that if something were to go awry, that you would fix it. You'd get rid of it. Sure. Okay. I rescheduled the surgery. Let's get into the details here. Okay. I rescheduled the surgery. This is about 3 months ago. So the details of the actual surgery is like you take off all of your jewelry. You don't have anything on your skin. There's no like lotion on. You've got to like fast the night before. And then Jordan and my mom ended up bringing me to the surgery place. And it's the same place I went to the doctor's office, which is a little bizarre. And you're sitting in the waiting room. You fill out some paperwork. They call you back. You say goodbye to your family. And that was when I was like, oh my God, this is real. This is real. I'm going back. And like, not going to lie, worst case in my head became, what if I'm getting a freaking selective surgery and I don't wake up? I'm like, you idiot. The fact that you would go under, like, have you ever fully been under? And I'm like, oh my God, I've never fully been under before. I've only had my wisdom teeth removed. Like, what if I react poorly? Like, what if I react and they put me under and I never wake up and I'm the guy who wasted their life worrying about their looks to go get a boob job and pass away. Like, so that was my worry. So I was doing really good at when I got in there. You take, your situation off, you take a few pictures. You're like, wow, I've got no makeup, no lotion. I'm flaking everywhere. I'm not feeling good. I'm alone. I don't have the comfort of my mother or Jordan. And you walk into this back area and it was like white and looked like a surgeon. I mean, it looked like a surgery space because it was, but you're like, wow, I've never seen this back here before. They put you in a gown and compression socks, and you have like a little room, and they give you a bag to put your phone in. And they ask you to go pee in a cup because they have to make sure that you're not pregnant. You can't do surgery without making sure somebody's not pregnant. And I think it has to do with the anesthesia, among other things. And then you sit in the room, and I sat in the room, and the surgeon's assistant, I'm not really sure what they're called, your nurse practitioner of the day, comes in and gives you an IV, and we're talking, and I have music going, and I'm sitting in my chair, and I'm tweaking a little bit. I'm tweaking and saying, okay, if I got to make a run for the door is right there. It's going to take me a little bit to get out of here because I don't remember how we walked in. I'm wearing a gown. I'm naked. My butt cheeks are going to be flying across the parking lot. Like, this is not good. And I'm my life is flashing before my eyes, basically. And then the surgeon comes in and they start talking to you about, okay, final convo about like size, like, like, how are you feeling? Like just talking to you like real, like, this is what you're going to feel. This is the process of the surgery. We're going to go in the room and I'm going to give you some sleepy stuff and you're going to be under for not very long and you'll wake up and you're going to have boobs. And I just want to make sure you're still feeling, this is your time to tell them, like, I have my inspiration changed, cause you have to have inspiration pics. So I've been screenshotting. Who knows? You could be listening and I could have screenshot your photo. Who knows? You never know. And I'm like, nope, I still feel good. But I will say, I told him in that room, I said, err on the side of small, err on the side of conservative, because I don't want to be somebody where the first thing you notice about me is that I got a boob job. I don't want to be that person. The first trait that you notice of me should not be my boobs. That's how I felt. So I said, please, 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 for the love of God, go smaller than what you think. I've heard of surgeons, and actually most surgeons do this. And I think they do it because people usually wish they went bigger. They err on the side of bigger. So they will usually speaking say, okay, you want let's say you tried on a 350 cc's, which is a size. I have no clue what size that is. It depends on the person's body. They don't measure it in cup size, everybody. So it's very confusing. You try it on and you say, yep, I want 350 cc. Cool. They are going to add more if you went under the muscle. Okay. So because the muscle's going to compress it, they're going to literally just think, you know what? Oh, she probably wants them to be about this size. So we're going to go actually a little bigger, which freaked me out. I was like, no, I want you to do the size that I tried on, that I feel confident in. And if it looks even slightly too big, go smaller. Because this surgeon in particular will go off of your anatomy. They measure it. They do it off of you don't choose high profile or mid profile or low profile. They go off of where your body is currently hanging out. They would decide if one side needed a bigger one or in the other side didn't. They decide if you get high profile or not based on how you naturally look, because they are known, if you go a smaller size, for doing natural breast augmentations. So that is what I went for. That's why I was there. And I should back up and say I tried on sizes 3 different times. So you go into this room, it's literally a room of rooms. A room of mirrors. And I brought a sports bra, and you stick an implant on your boob and you try on the implant, and it's the best thing you can do to symbolize what you're going to look like. And then you put on a t-shirt over it. I brought a skim shirt. Yeah, no, it doesn't really look like that. It's as close as you can get to seeing what you might look like, but I'm not going to lie, it was not accurate. And I was at first I tried on way bigger than what I ended up going, thinking that was what was the right size. I was making up a number in my head. We were just trying on numbers. And I'm looking at myself in the mirror. And at first I left that first appointment and I was like, yeah, 350 looks like it's good. We're good. Went back, tried it on again. And I'm like, okay, maybe 330, I'm looking at them. I just wanted to make sure. Cause I'm like, okay, in my head, I'm like, they look kind of big, but maybe that's just me. And everyone's saying, go a little bigger than what you think, because you're going to want to go bigger after the fact. Okay. Then I went back with Jordan and I tried on sizes and it just wasn't sitting right with me. I felt like I was going to topple over. I had bigger boobs than what I had ever envisioned myself having. And something just told me to go smaller. So when I got in that room before the surgery, I was like, I don't care, but I need to be under 300. I don't feel comfortable going higher than that. I never wanted to do this for myself to look that different. It's a confidence thing. It's a tiny little shift. in order to feel confident in my head at the time, remember? And I never wanted to do it for anybody else. So even though I was getting my mom's opinion, my sister, my Jordan, my friends, it had to be my opinion because it's my freaking body. So I went smaller than what I would have thought. So just to give you like details, and then I'll finish like kind of like what the experience was like. I got gummy bear silicone, 295 cc's, which like means absolutely nothing for size. Cause remember, it's about your body. I went under the muscle and I went under the breast. So I have a scar underneath my boob, and it actually looks pretty good because I've been taking care of it so much, but they're still definitely there. They're just they're not very noticeable. If you didn't like look underneath, like literally up, and were sitting underneath me and like laying down as I walked by in a swimsuit, my swimsuit for some reason was way too high up, you would never see them. So it's like, it doesn't bother me that I have a scar. It's about an inch, a little bit less. I put ointment on it and I do all the things. So it's not that big of a deal. Once you go into surgery, so I'm kind of bouncing all around, but once you go into surgery, like you're sitting in the room, they say, okay, we're going to take you back to the surgery room now. And you walk in your weird little gown, your weird little socks, and you go to the table and you have an IV in your arm and you walk into the operating room. It is really freaking weird. As somebody who's never gone under and never been in an operating room before, I was like, whoa, this is wild. White, weird floors, white walls, like, you know, you can see the scalpel things and the sharp things and like weird, bright lights. And I was like, holy, and I started to get a little uncomfortable. I'm not going to lie. And a tin table, by the way, a sterilized tin table. Ew. You're laying down. You're like, okay, well, I feel like I'm a dead body right now. And you lay down and they pulled my arms out to the side and they take your arms out of the sleeves. And immediately the nurse is putting something in your arm. She's like, you're going to get really relaxed now. And it immediately took the edge off because I was about to start tweaking. And I'm kind of looking up at the ceiling and they said, all right, are you ready? And I said, yup. Because at that point you're kind of feeling relaxed after whatever they put in. Black, nothing, like literally brain off. And then your brain kind of slowly comes back on and time has passed and I'm wrapped up and uncomfortable and I open my eyes and I'm like, what the heck is going on? And I'm in the surgery room and the lady's like, your boyfriend or your fiance is here to pick you up. Okay. And she's like kind of pulling you up a little bit, pushing you up, putting you into a wheelchair. And you're like, what in the hell is going on? And what did I just do? And you're confused because time has passed. It's been like 2 hours and I had no freaking idea. And I'm wrapped up in this wrap across my chest and it's super uncomfortable. And I don't really remember getting in the car and Jordan was down there. And I do remember being in the car and crying because I was so thankful for Jordan. I was telling him, I'm like, I'm so thankful for you. Like bawling my eyes out. Don't know. Drugs and stuff make you loopy. And came home, laid in bed. My mom was there, passed out, slept. You are like confused, dazed and confused when you get out of surgery. Well, I wake up and they have you on a decent amount of medication for the next few days. If you can, try not to take the pain pills. I only took them one day just to be like, because I couldn't bear the pain. It was that bad. You feel okay. And then you really, really don't. And here's what people do not tell you. There is weird shooting pain when you have surgery like this, like shooting pain in your chest area. There was times where I was like, holy shit, I made a mistake. I should have never done this. I regretted it. Absolutely. The day after, regretted it wholeheartedly. I looked in the mirror. I looked freaking weird. I have a wrap on. You have to wear this weird wrap when you sleep that pushes your chest down. You have to sleep elevated for 3 weeks, which does not do well with your neck, obviously, and your back. Your back kills. Your muscles pull around to your back from your spine and come around your chest muscles. Oh my God, my back hurt so freaking bad. Also, it literally felt like there was an implant in between my skin and my muscle. And then, like that's where it was sitting. It felt like it shouldn't have been there. My skin felt like it was stretching on my chest. Jordan had to like push me out of bed because you literally, for some reason, when they cut right here, they're cutting some of the muscles and different things and you're so sore. I couldn't use my abs. Like my abs didn't work. So I had to like lean to the side. You can't just do a sit up. It doesn't work like that. I don't exactly know the anatomy of the body like that in the front. And it like, you can't sit up. He would have to push me up to get up. I wasn't even allowed to sit up with my arms. You can't use your freaking arms, like at all. I'm telling you right now, I could not push myself up in bed. So you'd slide down in bed. I would have to wake Jordan up to get me to like, he'd have to pull my like body up and sit me up, or like we'd have to restart, like swing my legs off the bed, sit myself back down by the pillow, and then swing back over to get comfortable. So day of operation, very unclear. You get home, it's not good. It is painful. And honestly, be prepared not to do anything for a long time. I did not do anything for like maybe 2 weeks. And then I think I was allowed to start walking a little bit, and I started to feel a little bit more normal. And I will say, like, the only intense pain was the first like 2 days. I think those were the intense pains. But I think I was just uncomfortable that I did something to my body. So I was like uncomfortable a little bit longer, mentally, physically. You have literal zings like in your chest, like painful zings because there's nerve damage going on. And I will tell you, I lost feeling completely on my left side of that area for 3 months because it just started coming back about in the last like 2 weeks or so. Like full feeling gone, like can't feel it. Felt like it was somebody else's body. And I'm not going to lie to you, with all of that being said, with all the things I know, I don't know that I would do it again. I don't know that I would. It was quite the experience. You're doing a lot. It felt like I was doing the most for physical looks. And that I always kind of knew. But once you actually do it and you go through a surgery that like people normalize, because a lot of people have it and there's no shade to that, it is freaking weird. Like, did I really go under the knife just to like have a little bit of extra volume in my chest? Like, it's a little bizarre. And then it kind of makes you think about the beauty industry and all of the things that we do to our body. And it is a little bizarre. Like that we're trying to be this ideation of someone that doesn't really exist. And like, we want bigger this and smaller this. And there's always something we want like a little bit different. And then you start to age and you don't want to age because, you know, you shouldn't be aging, even though that's a natural process. I don't know. Very trippy on the brain. I have had no symptoms though of breast implant illness. Like I've seen no change in anything actually with like that type of thing. So that's at least been really good. But again, if I ever had a symptom of it, I would just take them out. And I promised myself that from the beginning, and that still stands true. I'm actually testing my blood right now at Minneapolis Integrative Medicine to make sure that I feel all good and there's nothing alarming that they see. And I plan to continue to test my blood. I lived my life and I chose to do this, and I chose not to live in fear, but it's still sitting here admitting all of it and telling the story and like you being like, yep, I got a boob job. Like I'm kind of telling myself like, it's not that big of a deal. It's not that big of a deal. Like it's okay to calm myself down because I don't want to overthink it or get in that anxious feeling again. But as a woman with one, you don't freaking need one. Like you don't. Like there's a chance that I have kids and I'm like, I don't want these anymore. Or I definitely don't think I want them when I'm really old, like a lot older and aging. And I don't want to cause any harm or risk to my body at all that could make me sicker or take away from my health, because health is the number one priority. Literally no ifs, ands, or buts. So if you are somebody who maybe are listening and you've heard the Alex Cooper episode and you've heard like not Alex Cooper, Alex Earl episode that she did about her boob job, and you know, like you're wishing upon a star that you had like something like this, like just really, really, really do some reflection and make sure that you're not doing this to be a different person. You're not doing this to appease to the male gaze or to make anybody else more comfortable. If it's for you, that is absolutely beautiful and okay. And do you, boo-boo. But I'm telling you right now, this decision has been weird. I'm still getting used to my body. I'm still getting used to like something in my body that is foreign. I'm still a little bit sore. Running is still very uncomfortable because I'm getting feeling back on one side, and I never had this type of like movement going on. A lot of things don't fit me like totally normal, like how I used to fit them, because I used to be like basically flat, which is like how I just was. And I just look a little different. I actually wore my first swimsuit the other day when I was on a batch trip, and I'm not going to lie, they didn't look good in this one type of swimsuit. And I felt like weird. I felt like I was like, everyone might be looking at me. I don't know. You just it's weird because the self-consciousness flips. So that's the key here. There's a pendulum. And now it's flipping to like, oh my God, is anyone going to notice that I have this? Oh, this is so awkward. Like, God, like, like maybe I shouldn't have done this. I'm looking a little bit too va-va-voom. Like it looks a little intense. They kind of look fake. They look a little like bubbly, like a bubble on your chest. Whereas before I was thinking the same way about being flat and like, is anyone going to notice? And oh my gosh, this girl has boobs. I don't have boobs. Oh my God. The common theme here is that we're thinking a lot about what we don't have and always wanting the other side. That is what I will tell you about a boob job is no matter where you are, you're probably going to want the other side at some point. And I have a lot of friends that do not regret it whatsoever. And I don't like necessarily regret it. I don't regret what I did, but had I known what I know now that like you don't have to go through all of this to like love on yourself, I probably wouldn't have done it transparently. Now, to be totally freaking real, because that's all I do on here, I tried on wedding dresses and my boobs looked freaking good because I have them done. So like that is something that I never would have had. So like there is a positive to this. I just don't want anyone to confuse that like getting a boob job is for you. Getting a boob job and changing your body is positive, because it's not. I would literally not sit well or be able to sleep if I knew that a younger girl listening to my podcast wanted to get a boob job because of me. That is literally the absolute opposite of what I'm hoping that you're getting out of this. But I just wanted you to know everything. And I know that this was kind of a ramble episode. Like, I know it was a ramble. I had to tell the story. I haven't really like talked it out loud in complete honesty. But I just want you to take away that you need to love on yourself as you are today. We don't have tomorrow guaranteed. We are amazing human beings and creatures that have nothing. We're just floating around on a weird little rock in the universe. And you are amazing and you are beautiful and you are kind, and you say those things about your friends and you say those things about random people on the internet, but you're probably not saying those things about yourself. And I want us to make a pact to change that. Okay. So whether it be 1 minute, 30 seconds, 5 minutes, if it's journaling, if it's self-talk, if it's self-reflection, if it's a podcast where you have to listen and you can talk with it as it says like self-affirmations, you need to be practicing them. Because even the girl that got the boob job, that's all I wanted, that was going to change my whole life, I was going to feel better about myself, has to do self-affirmations still to this day. And my insecurities have gone from my little boobs to now having fake boobs and being a fake person and like having maybe I should get my nose done finally. So it sways. We are human. We are on this planet. We are beautiful creatures. I don't want you to think anything different about yourself, but that is the truth about getting a breast augmentation and my truth about it and my story. So that's that. That's the tea, babes. That's the freaking tea. I haven't had dinner and all I can think about is like a charcuterie board that I'm going to make. So I'm going to cut us a little bit short and cut us loose. And transparently, that was an episode full of storytelling and advice. So I'm not even going to add an advice, but I want to remind you that you can always get advice from me by going to the link in my bio and just clicking get advice, because there's a hole right in there. I actually took away, I know I said this in the last episode, the opportunity to call in, because I want people to know how much I respect their privacy. And I don't want you to ever think that I'd let anybody know who you are. So please write in using the link in my bio instead for advice. I love giving it. I'm like your older sister, and I hope that's what came through in this episode. So if you need advice, write me there. I combine my accounts if you missed that. So I'm just Well Said Sid now everywhere. That's on TikTok, Instagram, literally YouTube, and my life is 10 times better. I love you. I appreciate you. I'm so happy to be back on the mic. It literally like tickles me. It makes me so happy. I value every single one of you. And I hope to God you keep your eyes and ears open this week for 12 days of Christmas, because I'm going to be doing a giveaway every single day, babes, every single day. So please, for the love of the Lord, go get to my Instagram, go get to my TikTok. I'm doing the giveaway. I cannot wait to give back this season, give some gifts. And I hope that you have a lovely, lovely, lovely week. And if you have any questions, let me know. I'm like totally deprived and hungry, so I'm gonna go. And I've been talking to myself for an hour, so I gotta shut the hell up. I'm not gonna lie. Okay, I love you and I appreciate you, and have a lovely day. Okay, goodbye now.